Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Akhandananda Sambodha Vandanat Yasya Jayate Govindam Tamaham Vande Chidananda Tanum Gurum. So yesterday we were seeing about the different types of mumukshu. In the other texts, there are only 3 categories: Uttama, Madhyama, Adhama. Those are the names in the other text. But here there are 4 categories: Tīvra, Madhyama, Manda, Atimanda. In other text it is Uttama, Madhyama, Adhama. Here it is a Tīvra, Madhyama, Manda, Atimanda. And with respect to the 4th, there are 4. Then why did they say only 3? So with respect to the 4, he says he is not really actually a mumukshu. He knows what is moksha, but he does not put forth any effort to gain the moksha. That is why he says, Marge prayatur manibala bhavanme labhyeta moksho yadi tarhi dhanyah ityashaya modadhiyamatirya saisha atimanda abhimata muksha. Like a traveler, like a passerby, and he is on the way. If that tourist, if he gets something precious, like a precious stone or something, he'll be happy. He didn't work for it. He just got it by luck. Similarly, I won't do anything for moksha, but if I gain moksha, I'm okay. I'm happy with it. With this idea, people who just, even after knowing what is moksha, without putting forth any effort for gaining that moksha, if they are going to do things as they do in the world, they are called as atimanda, meaning they are not even capable of being called as an adhikari. He is not an eligible seeker. He is not a seeker at all. So that is just for namesake. He knows what is moksha, but he does not work for gaining that. So he is just a useless fellow. He's like an idiot. That's all. Now, okay, there are 4 people now here, and there are 4 kinds of moksha, because tīvra, madhyama, manda, atimanda, there are 4 characters here. So they cannot gain the same moksha. Then it is cheating. If the manda adhikari also is going to gain what the madhyama adhikari is and what I am going to gain, the uttama adhikari, then what is the difference between me and him? Don't you know? Like, if I'm going to perform 4 fire oblations and you are going to perform only 1 fire oblation, and when we go to the same swarga and experience the same things, then what is the point in me doing so many yagas? So that is why there are categories said in the swarga: higher level of swarga, middle level of swarga, lower level of swarga, like that, 7 layers of swargas. And the experience thereof, you are going to sit in the front row, I am going to sit in the back row, etc. There are different kinds of experience. Similarly, the moksha should also have differences. If you say no, in Panchadashi, Vidyaranya Bhagavan very clearly says, Samvid eka rupa na bhidyate. Samvid means knowledge. Eka rupa means one form. Na bhidyate does not differ. Knowledge is of same type, it does not differ. Therefore, there is only one type of knowledge. You see, categories, etc. can exist only in the duality. In non-duality, there can be no categories, there can be no gradations. Therefore, whatever the manda adhikari is going to gain is what you are going to gain, is what is a uttama adhikari is going to gain. I don't understand it. Let me put it this way. From here, there is 16 kilometers distance, there is this place called Harur. Earlier, I was in Rishikesh. From Rishikesh, this place called Hardwar was there. Hardwar is around 20-25 kilometers from Rishikesh. Har dwar. Har means Shiva. Dwar means gate. Gateway to the kingdom of Shiva. Okay, that is Har dwar. Shiva's kingdom is Himalayas, right? So this 15-16 kilometers distance, that is called as Har Ur. Ur in Tamil means a place, a town, a village kind of, okay? So Har Ur means state of Shiva, country of Shiva, town of Shiva, whatever. So in 16, from the gateway, I am entered to the town of Shiva. Okay. Now, this Harur is around 15-16 kilometers, let us suppose. And I have a BMW racer bike, let us suppose. I can go to that 15-16 kilometers distance, Harur, in around 10 minutes. If there is no obstacles, there is the road. Road is good now. I can reach Harur in 10 minutes. Okay. Let us suppose I have a normal bike, 150 cc bike. I have 100 cc bike or whatever that is, 120 or whatever, Hero Honda kind of bike. I can go to the same Harur in around 20 minutes, let us suppose, without any obstacles, anything. I can reach Harur in 20 minutes. But if I have a TVS 50, a 60 cc or 50 cc vehicle, I can reach the same Harur in 30 minutes. The place I reach is Harur. Whichever vehicle I choose, the place I reach is Harur. But the pace at which I reach Harur differs. Similarly, here too, according to the Adhikari Bheda, according to the seeker's classification, the time at which, the speed at which he reaches the destination, the moksha, is different. The moksha does not differ. Okay? So, what is the time each of these seekers take to gain the moksha? To explain that, he starts first with the Uttamadhikari, the tīvramumukṣuḥ. He is explaining about him in 4 shlokas. Okay, some people couple all these 4 shlokas and explain it. I am going to explain each one of each shloka individually. janmānekasahasreṣu tapasārādhiteśvaraḥ tena niḥśeṣanirdhūtahṛdayasthitakalmaṣaḥ. Janma anekasahasreṣu tapasārādhiteśvaraḥ tena niḥśeṣanirdhūtahṛdayasthitakalmaṣaḥ. Beautiful. Janma anekasahasreṣu. Sahasreṣu means among 1,000. Anekasahasreṣu means multiple thousands. Janma, birth. Among multiple thousands of birth, in multiple thousands of birth, for people who enter the Vedanta Shravana, who are desiring moksha, I tell them, you have great amount of punya. Because only a great amount of punya, a group of punya, we call it punya punja. Punya punja. If that punya punja, the great amount of punya fructifies, you have the desire for moksha. Otherwise, you can't have desire for moksha. So, janma anekasahasreṣu, among in multiple births, in the multiple past births, tapasārādhiteśvaraḥ, through the penance, tapasa, through the penance, ārādhiteśvaraḥ, one who has performed the worship of Ishvara, the multiple births, past births. Tena, through that worship, what has he gained? Niḥśeṣanirdhūtahṛdayasthitakalmaṣaḥ. Kalmaṣa means impurity. Kalmaṣa means impurity. Hṛdayasthitakalmaṣaḥ means the impurity in the heart. You can show yourself to be a very pious, holy, superior than thou, etc. All that, holier than thou, and all those ideas. You can present yourself to be all that. But internally, you know who you are. What kind of dirt you have in your mind. What kind of impurity you have in that mind. So that impurity, that dirt, kalmaṣaḥ, which exists in the heart, nirdhūta. They are cleaned. They are cleansed. Now let us suppose you have this hall. I ask a person to clean this hall, broom this hall. So what he does is he collects whatever is in the corners and brings it in the center. He collects everything in the center. So the corners will be very clean, but the center is dirty now. Understand? There is another way a person can broom. He will push all that which is in the center to the corners. The center will be very clean, prim, but the corners are dirty. So this person, his dirtiness of the mind is cleansed. What? Where? Completely. So he says, niḥśeṣa, without any trace. Completely it is cleansed. Okay? Now, niḥśeṣanirdhūtahṛdayasthitakalmaṣaḥ. How? Why did it get cleansed? Ārādhiteśvaraḥ, tapasārādhiteśvaraḥ, because of the worship of Ishvara. In Yoga Sutra, he says, Ishvara pranidhānāt va. What does that mean? In the commentary, he says, Ishvara pranidhānāt va samadhi labha. One can gain the samadhi through the worship of Ishvara. Worship of Ishvara? What does that mean? How should I worship Ishvara? If you are eligible to do the Omkara Japa, you perform the Om chanting. Only for the eligible. If you are eligible for chanting the mantra, if you are given a mantra by the Guru, only the mantra which is initiated by the Guru, only that I am talking about, then you have to chant that mantra. That is also worship of Ishvara. Or if you are worshipping him through the puja, etc., that is one mode. Or chanting the Vedas. If you have studied the Vedas and if you are eligible for that, if you chant the Vedas, that is also worship, because that has come from his mouth directly as a natural thing. So these are all different modes of chanting him, worshipping him. And in Vedanta, we say that Ishvara and Guru, when you have Ishvara and Guru, Guru is superior than Ishvara. In Hindi, there is a proverb. Money is not God, but money is not below God also. That's a kind of proverb they say. So, धन भगवान नहीं है, मगर धन भगवान से कम भी नहीं है. Something like that. Okay. Now, here we are not saying that. For us, worship of Guru is internal sadhana. It is more superior than the Ishvara upasana. That is why on one side, if you have Dakshinamurti Stotra, and the other side, if you have Totakashtaka, we value Totakashtaka more than the Dakshinamurti Sloka, in fact. Okay. So, Totakashtaka is a worship of Guru, whereas Dakshinamurti Stotra is pure Vedanta. Okay. So, anyway. So, through that Ishvara upasana, through that Guru upasana, whatever upasana you are performing, your mind has become pure. Then what happens? śāstravidguṇadoṣajño bhogyamātre vinispṛhaḥ nityānityapadārthajño muktikāmo dṛḍhavrataḥ. śāstravidguṇadoṣajño bhogyamātre vinispṛhaḥ nityānityapadārthajño muktikāmo dṛḍhavrataḥ. We can take each word and explain, but there is no joy in it. The inner meaning, the insight you can gain only when you do the proper anvaya, syntactical connection. First, we'll take this word. nityānityapadārthajño. You'll understand why I am saying this. nityānityapadārthajño. Nitya-anityapadārthajño. Jnah, a word, if you put it in the end, means knower. Jnah means knower. Padarthajño, knower of the substance. Nitya-anityapadārthajño, knower of substance which is eternal and which is non-eternal. Okay, one who understands what is eternal and what is non-eternal. Who is he? He is one who has the discrimination. Viveka. When we say Viveka, what do we say? Atma nitya tadanyat sarvam anitya iti vivekah. A person who has the knowledge that Atma is eternal and everything else is non-eternal. That is discrimination, right? So, a person of discrimination. Nityānityapadārthajño means a person of discrimination. Okay. Then next. Guṇadoṣajño bhogyamātre vinispṛhaḥ. Guṇadoṣajño. One who has the ñah again, knower. One who knows what are the qualities and defects. Good and bad qualities. Guna means good quality. Dosha means defect, bad quality. Okay. One who understands what is good and what is bad. Bhogyamātre vinispṛhaḥ. And because of that, bhogyamātre. Bhogya means object of experience. Sensorial objects. Matre means any object of experience. Vinispṛhaḥ. Vinirgata vinispṛhaḥ. Spṛha means attachment. Vinirgata means devoid of. One who has gotten rid of all the attachment for any kind of object of experience. You understand? Meaning a person who has vairagya, dispassion. Who is a person who has vairagya? One who does not have any attachment to the experience of this world or hereafter. So, because of having the knowledge of what are the guna and defects of these things, he completely gets rid of the attachment to the object of experience. So, dispassionate. So, one who is discriminative, one who is dispassionate. The third word, dṛḍhavrataḥ. Dṛḍhavrataḥ. Vrata means any practice, any penance. Okay? Any kind of a practice, spiritual practice, vrata. Now, here dṛḍhavrataḥ means a person who practices strongly the vratas. That doesn't fit actually. What kind of vrata are we talking about? Vrata means any kind of practice, like fasting is a vrata. Eating in a different mode is a vrata. Eating only fruits is a vrata, etc. There are different vratas, right? So here dṛḍhavrataḥ means one who has the vrata, one who practices the vrata, the practice of controlling the mind, controlling the sense organ, etc. Meaning samadhi-shankha sampatti. One who has samadhi-shankha sampatti. Dṛḍhavrataḥ means one who has a samadhi-shankha sampatti. Okay. Then he is viveki, he is vairagi, he has samadhi-shankha sampatti. Then mukṣuḥ. For that he says muktikāmo. Muktikāmo. He desires the mukti, moksha. So he is mumukshu also. So he is one who has the 4 prerequisites. That is what he has to say. He is adding one more word, śāstravidguṇadoṣajño. Why do we have to have śāstravidguṇadoṣajño? Because in the previous shloka he says tapasārādhiteśvaraḥ. He, through the worship of Ishvara, has gotten rid of all the impurities of the mind. Therefore, you should not think that worshipping can give you, worshipping Ishvara, etc., can give you realization, etc. That is a stupid statement. That cannot be possible. Worshipping, if you are accepting that worshipping something, some Ishvara, to give you the realization, then you are making that kartrutantra, not vastutantra. We know what kartrutantra and vastutantra means. Kartum anyatha kartum viparitaya kartum vashkate. He can either do, not do, or undo, or do it differently, whatever. So that whatever is gained through these different means are non-eternal. So śāstravidguṇadoṣajño and nānyat pantha vidyatenaya. Nānyat pantha vidyate. There is no other path other than this knowledge. So to establish that he is with all the prerequisites, he approaches the proper guru and learns the shastra from him. That is why he says knower of shastra. Along with the 4 prerequisites, he should also be the knower of shastra. For that person, niṣṭaptamagninā pātramudvāsya tvarayā yathā jahāti gehaṃ tadvacca tīvramokṣecchayā dvijaḥ. Beautiful. Niṣṭaptamagninā pātramudvāsya tvarayā yathā jahāti gehaṃ tadvacca tīvramokṣecchayā dvijaḥ. Yathā, like niṣṭaptam agnina, niṣṭaptam, agnina, niṣṭaptam, agnina, by the fire, niṣṭaptam. Niṣṭaptam is a beautiful word. Nis plus taptam. There is a sutra, is sandhi. Nis plus taptam, there is a sandhi karya. conjugation of words, which is a conjugation of these characters, which is because of the sutra shtunashtuhu. There is a sutra stohos chunashtuhu. Then there is next sutra which is shtunashtuhu. The sakara and tavarga, the sakara and the family of tathadadana. So they will become shakara, they will be changed to shakara and sh. Will become sh, and sa will become sha. Ta will become that family of ta. Tathadadha, if you are going to replace it with ta, tathadadha. So for ta, you will have to replace it with ta. Okay? Nis became nish, ta became ta. Niṣṭaptamagninā. It is a hot because of the fire. It is burning hot because of the fire. Let us suppose, before understanding this, I am cooking. While cooking, I saw a mango. And I said, okay, let me make a mango pickle or another vegetable or something else. So all the stove is all full. So I have cooked already dal or something. So I have to remove it and keep it aside to make a gas empty, burner empty. So without thinking, I just hold on to the vessel. Without thinking, I hold on to the vessel. Okay. Once I pick it up, I understand it is burning hot. So what should I do? Without thinking, I just drop it. I just drop it without thinking. Because of the heat, my fingers are burning, so I just drop it without thinking. Why without thinking? Because if I think, then I will understand. If I'm going to keep this softly on the ground, then only my hand is going to be burnt. If I'm going to drop it, A, I lose the cooked food. B, I may spoil my dress. If this splatters and all that, I may spoil my dress. C, if there is some oily thing which is burning hot, if it is going to fall on my skin, then I'm going to burn the other part of the body also. So without thinking about any of these repercussions, I just drop it. Tvarayā, immediately. Udvāsya patram. Patra means vessel. Udvāsya, I drop it. I drop the vessel immediately. The vessel which is burning hot because of the fire. Tadvacca, similarly. Gehaṃ jahāti tīvramokṣecchayā dvijaḥ. Dvijaḥ, this twice born, I'll come to that later. Gehaṃ jahāti tīvramokṣecchayā. Because of the burning desire for moksha, tvarayā gehaṃ jahāti. Tvarayā you can bring in here also. Immediately he gives up the house. Who? Dvijaḥ. Dvijaḥ means twice born. Who is twice born? There is no one who is twice born. There can be two babies at the same time, but twice born. How is it possible? So this is a beautiful word which establishes a different samskara. See, the first birth is common birth, which is from the womb of the mother. That is a birth which everyone of us has taken. The second birth is the birth given by the father. What does that mean? Let me explain. The first birth everyone has undergone. The second birth is the initiation into the sacred thread ceremony called Upanayana samskara. That's a samskara. When you are initiated into the sacred thread ceremony, that is the second birth. And that is prescribed for the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. So Dvija, twice born, means it can be Brahmin, it can be Kshatriya, it can be Vaishya. Okay. The problem is, in today's times, the Kshatriyas have completely dropped wearing this sacred thread. Okay. Some Vaishyas are still wearing it. In South India also, some Vaishyas are wearing it, but without performing any karmas pertaining to the sacred thread. They are not, they don't even enter through the initiation proper ceremony, etc. also. There is no initiation ceremony like the Brahmins do. Okay. So when we say dvijaḥ, it ultimately boils only to the Brahmins. There can be no Kshatriya, there can be no Vaishya. Even among Brahmins, many of them use their sacred thread to if they have a kind of scratch or something, to scratch the back, they use the sacred thread. Now, that is why dvijaḥ should be understood. And earlier when I used this word brahmano nirvedamayat, when I was explaining the brahmano nirvedamayat, the Brahmin should understand or should gain the vairagya. When I was describing explaining about the dispassion, I was using this statement. Now, brahmanaha dvijaḥ, this word should be understood properly. Twice born. First birth is from mother. The second birth is the desire for liberation. That is the second birth. So, because of the desire for liberation, he gives up the house. That is the person. Okay. What happens to him? Sa eva sadyastarati saṃsṛtiṃ gurvanugrahāt yastu tīvramokṣuḥ syātsa jīvanneva mucyate. Sa eva sadyah tarati saṃsṛtiṃ gurvanugrahāt yastu tīvramokṣuḥ syātsa sa jīvanneva mucyate. Sa eva saṃsṛtiṃ gurvanugrahāt saṃsṛtiṃ sadyastarati. Sa sadyah saṃsṛtiṃ tarati. Sa eva, only that person with that tīvramumukṣuḥ, only that person, gurvanugrahāt, through the grace of the guru. That is important. Nowhere without the gurvanugrahāt without the grace of the guru can you gain the liberation. It is impossible. So only him with all the prerequisites, gurvanugrahāt, to the grace of the guru, sadya, immediately saṃsṛtiṃ, samsara tarati, cross over. Only he can cross over through the grace of the guru, the samsara. When will that happen? Yastu tīvramokṣuḥ. One who is a very ardent desirer for liberation, one who has a very ardent, strong desire for liberation, that person, sa jīvanneva mucyate, he will be liberated while alive. What does that really mean actually? See, there are two different stories. One says jīvanneva and videyamukti. Jīvanneva means gaining liberation while alive. Videyamukti means after death. We are not going to go into those kind of stories. Jīvanneva mucyate means while he is alive, means in this very birth he will get liberated, not in another birth. A person, one who has great desire for liberation, will get liberated at in this very life. Okay. Now, next shloka. In the next shloka, he clubs all the three together. We have explained the tīvra, madhyama, manda, atimanda. All three are clubbed together in one shloka. janmāntare madhyamastu, tadanyastu yugāntare, caturthaḥ kalpakotyam va, naiva bandhāt vimucyate. This is a tricky shloka. I'll explain this. janmāntare madhyamahatu, tadanyastu yugāntare, caturthaḥ kalpakotyam va, naiva bandhāt vimucyate. janmāntare madhyamastu janmāntare, the mediocre seeker, janmāntare, in another birth. He will not gain the liberation in this birth. He will gain liberation in another birth. Okay. Tad anyahatu, the other one. Other one means who is the other one? First one is over. Second one is explained now. The other one means it can either be third or fourth. So caturthaḥ, he has explained the fourth one differently. So tad anyah, the other one is the third one, the mandadikari. Yugāntare, he will gain the liberation in another yuga. There are, now we are in Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. These are the 4 yugas. One whole yuga cycle, four yuga is called as kalpa. Okay. So if he is in Satya Yuga, he will gain the liberation in another yuga. It can be either Treta, Dvapara or Kali Yuga. Now you are in Kali Yuga. So if you are Manda Adhikari, you can gain the liberation in another yuga, maybe Satya Yuga or Dwapara Yuga or Treta Yuga. Anyway, not the very next yuga. It does not mean like that. Any which way, he will gain liberation later. That's the idea. What does that mean? I'll have to gain the liberation in the next birth. Oh, then you have already decided that you are madhyamadhikari. There are two issues here. First, you have fixed that you are madhyamadhikari and not adhama or atyadhama. That is one problem. The other problem is you have decided that you are madhyamadhikari, therefore you are not uttamadhikari, therefore you cannot gain the liberation in this very birth. Both ways you are putting an obstacle to yourself. First, drop these stupid ideas. Put forth the effort. When we put forth effort, slowly, the liberation can never miss us. We should have to gain liberation. We will gain liberation in this very birth. But we have to put forth the effort. We should never stop the effort. That is the important thing. So, tadanyastu, the other person will gain the liberation. Maybe he is dull, but if he is putting forth effort, he will be like that a tortoise which wins the race even before the mare. So, he says, caturthaḥ kalpakotyam. This is the trick. This is where it becomes tricky. Caturthaḥ, the fourth one, kalpakotyam va. Va means or in the kalpakoti, either in the kalpakoti. Kalpakoti means, kalpa means the 4 life cycles, the 4 cycles of yuga. Okay, kalpa. Koti means at the end. Okay, so either at the end of no. Kalpakoti means in crores of creation cycles. Naiva bandhat vimucyate. Even in crores of cycles of creation, he will never be liberated from the bondage. Naiva bandhat vimucyate. With that, you have to understand the kalpakoti. Otherwise, there will be a complication. You will not be understanding properly. So, even in hundreds of crores of creation cycles, he will never be, the fourth one will never be able to gain realization. So, it is for just namesake, because he knows what moksha is. We are including him in that. Otherwise, he is not an eligible seeker. He is not a seeker itself. Okay. So, this is what is the difference between these seekers. We will understand. We will see that later. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.